All right, and welcome to these moments, beloved. They call me Malachite, emerged consciousness, and here we are together again on this audio recording that's, I believe you call it, or it was called the World Wide Web, and now the Internet, and whatever, however, whomever, why ever. It is in these moments that I would like to just ask you to sit back, take notice of your surroundings, the environment you find yourself in. Notice what it means to be you. Take a few moments, take a few breaths, and as you breathe in, maybe you'll hold at the peak of your capacity of breath. Just for a moment or two, and then exhale this amassed breath. And then at the conclusion of your out breath, pause, hold for another moment or two, and then start it again. Do this thrice to 5 times and see how you're feeling in that moment, how your mind is perceiving, how the machine, or I call it that, you call it the body, the embodiment. How is that being after that subtle breath work? So, beloveds, welcome to this moment. In such a remarkable time in your human species history, here you are, all gathered together, one voice, to remind each other that you are not just colors and skin and belief, that you are truly human beings, consciousness merged together, one voice, one mind. Maybe that's what's really taking place in this celestial period. What have you got happening? Here it is, the month called June, and oh my, all the solar and lunar eclipse and the celestial guardians. And for all of those of you who watch astrological beyond the astronomical, here it is, your, what do you label it? Mercury retrograde. You've got all these labels, all these understandings of celestial embodies and your embodiment. Such a remarkable time. It's what? 2020. Oh my. Yes, I've heard the bozo. That's what I call the human I'm merged through in these moments. I've heard the bozos say 2020, it's the future now. Well, maybe he's not so far off. For when he was a child, it was indeed 2020. My goodness, how long away is that? As long away as your mind can focus upon it. So, yes, let's talk for a moment about coming together. Consciousness, what you are, even though you perceive yourself as singular, you're a group. I know that sounds a bit out there. And for some of you, it might be classified then as in the psychoanalytical or psychological ascertainment that it's called many in one body. I believe you call that schizophrenic mind. Whatever, multiple personality, whatever. However you look at yourselves, one could say you're looking at yourselves in these times, aren't you, beloveds? You're noticing how you treat each other. You're noticing what you have available to each other. And isn't it most fascinating that all this takes place? It's not like it hasn't been happening for decades. For as long as history's been writ, there is persecution, and there is suppression, and there is violence to each other. This is nothing new. Huh? Based on animals, of course, you will still have your animalistic tendencies. You call it emotional violence, you call it passion, play, however you want to label it. And now, in the fire pit of an environmental virus that has not gone away, still hot spots, and I hear it's flaring up here and there, and whoa, I'm sure those that govern you, that you have elected official, they will do their best to contain, suppress, control, so that the virus doesn't claim any more of your brothers and sisters, your brethren, your friends, your neighbors, your family at large. Don't you find it fascinating, though, beloveds, in these days, these times, that all this is happening right now? 2020, like the bozo said, the future is now. So, of course, it's just showing you how powerful you all are, and how passionate, and how brazen, and maybe even how conscious and unconscious you can be to one another, how unloving and how disposed you can be, and how you see what this reality is, and how perplexing, and you're pitting each other against each other. And then again, of course, there's, as it gets wider, harder, faster, quicker, technological, you've got all sorts of, what would you call it? We'll just simply label it unrested expressions coming to the surface. Again, nothing new. You're fighting, how do you call it, for your rights, for your freedoms, for those that surround you to be equal, no matter, It's been a long time coming, souls. You human beings have been fighting for your rights and exposing inequities. Well, I believe it's written in all your history books of suppression and freedoms. And isn't it fascinating? Here you are again. So civilized, so conscious, so present, so aware, so, you have your religions, and yet you still have this glaring, how would you call it? Opposition in the way in which you live your life. It's so difficult sometimes to get beyond belief, to get beyond religiosity and racial, how you call it, colors of skins and ethnicity. Well, I have no claim upon that. I only see you as one species, an intersection of the creatrix in form. So what to do in these times? Breathe, 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 souls. I'll just take another moment of your focus. I am honored that you would sit and stay with what I am for a moment or two to hear said dialogue. You are at the precipice, souls. If nothing else in your, how did you call it, quarantined times, didn't you see how it is that you affect each other and the environment? Whoa! Your environment starts to clear up, your, how do you call it, your greenhouse gases, and animals begin to frolic and play, and the humans are not around. Let's come out. As humorous as it may sound, I'm sure it brings pain to some of you. It is coming, beloveds. You do have decisions to make of how you will begin to play this all out. There is still beliefs out there that want to create division and separation. No matter the color of your skin, no matter the belief, no matter your disposition, how do you call it, of sexuality, no matter your gender. You will get this. At what cost? Well, that's going to be up to you. It seems in the play out of history, you do treat each other rather ruthlessly, don't you? But that's your demonstration. It's only ruthless because you want to wake each other up, and that's what's happening right now. This is just simply maybe one of the final calls to wake each other up. Yes, it looks still violent. It looks still very unkind, unjust. There has to be equality. Equality in the way in which you are with yourself and the way you are with each other. If that doesn't come to pass, then the suppression, the separation, the trying to rule will always create dissonance. And of course, the final frontier would be to accept your own inequities, your own injustice to your own self. You call it your ego mind. I don't care what you label it. It's your own demons, as you label it, your own thoughts in your mind. If you cannot contain those, how do you expect they will be contained in the reflectance in your brethren, brothers and sisters, family, friends, strangers? But aren't they still all like you? Don't they come from mother and father, or some consummation of your species creating each other? Don't you all have siblings and or friendships that is like family? Don't you all have this experience? Don't you all eat, sleep, and drink? Yes. No matter the color of your skin, no matter the belief in your mind. I wonder how it would be, beloved, if you were all blind. Pay attention. Make sure that you do take care of your eyesight during these celestial events. So many of you want to see the magic. Yes, well, remember you're a fragile species, even though you may not think so. I'm sure this environmental virus has shown you how fragile you really are. And you can still see, what do you call it, being racist? Look, these are your words. I just am watching like consciousness, like yourself, truly. Some of you just get caught up believing that there is something to do about this. Yes, there is. It starts with a breath. It starts with a focus. It starts with how you look through your eyes. If you were blind, soul, that's what I was speaking about before when I was telling you be careful, with your eyes as you look at the celestial events. If you were blind, would you be able to see color? Would you be able to know the separation? Could you smell it? Could you feel it? No, beloveds. No. Oh, you'd be aware of thought. There is some truth that when your sensorial input-output carriers are blocked or deficient, they get rooted into different pathways. So you pick up a little more awareness in other aspects. I might remind you, this is your playground together. And I am sure there are aspects of you that don't like this or don't like that, don't want this, don't want that. That's what's called free will, correct? Yes. Maybe when you're finding it hard to breathe, maybe when you're hungry, maybe when you're, how do you humans call it? Feeling alone, feeling disconnected. When your ego mind turns upon itself, maybe then and only then you'll forget about your prejudices, your beliefs, your color. Huh? Consciousness does not have a body. Consciousness does not have belief. So what is this play? It is the play of consciousness through all forms. You are a multiplex. You know, you can have positive and negative thoughts simultaneously. You can have anger and discipline and emotion and suppression. All these things. You've wrote about it for years. You are an amalgam of freedom. So, you want to have less strife? You want to be able to connect more? You want to see the truth? Then close your eyes for a moment or two. Notice your breath. Practice that breathing technique proffered in the beginning of our dialogue, you know. Breathe in, hold, breathe out, hold, etc. And close your eyes. And let your mind just travel. Minds think, bodies feel. Let your mind think it's madness. It will, it'll do what it needs. And this may all sound like madness to you. What am I proffering to you in these moments? For you to give yourself some emptiness, so you can notice for a moment or two when you're not focused on survival, or you're not focused on protection, or you're not focused on insurrection and, you know, righting the wrongs and doing what your passion says you must do. Maybe for a moment you'll see the inequities that you judge in yourself, wishing that you had more opportunities when you did not. You know, the greatest thing you can give yourself is the gift of allowance. I know that sounds, how do you call it? Ridiculous? That's a word you can chew on, isn't it? Ridiculous. Chew on this then, souls. Awareness, allowance, and acceptance. I've heard it spoken from other consciousness. May you find awareness as you are looking at all things. And the awareness allows you to recognize that you can accept no matter what's happening, because you are a participant. Every breath you take, you co-create, co-manifest, co-manage this experience. So the question is not, what are you doing to make changes? The question is, what are you accepting? What are you allowing? What are you aware of? Continue to see yourself in all things. Continue to be loving to yourself so that you can demonstrate lovingness to others. May you stay awake. Live, soul, live, breathe, deep. Know that you are an aspect of the all that is. Yes, yes. Breathe, breathe. I am forever and watchful, and I will be watching you as you continue to expand and contract, to accept, allow, and become more aware. Is there something to do in these times? Oh, yes. Share yourself. No matter how prophylactic it must be. Masked, gloved. Hey. Step up, souls. Step up to the awareness of yourself in all things. What color are you on the inside? Yes, blessings upon your soul.